Leanne Pennock just opened up about feeling invisible and left out while being in Little Mix simply because of her skin color. Let's get into it. On the heels of the release of her BBC documentary, Race, Pop, and Power, centered around racism in the music industry, Leanne recently penned an article for the newspaper Evening Standard where she provides further insight into her experiences as the only black member of Little Mix. She starts off revealing that only within the last 4 years did it dawn on her that many of her negative experiences during her time in the band had everything to do with her skin color. Leanne goes on to explain that it was like a weight lifted off her shoulders when she had that breakthrough, because for the longest, she believed that she was feeling left out, invisible, and like she had to try 10 times harder to be appreciated because there was something wrong with her. And sadly, the racism that Leanne has faced while in the band dates back to when she was still a contestant on The X Factor in 2011. Leanne reflected on the time the producers of the reality talent show shaved her head and dyed it red to transform her into what she deemed as, quote, mini Rihanna. That's when she started to realize that they were using her ethnicity as a prop to bring in a sense of urban coolness to the band, one that they had control over. But Leanne wasn't going to let anyone get between her and her dream of becoming a famous singer, so she admits to constantly having to look the other way, and that despite how uncomfortable and intense things got for her, she never thought about calling it quits. As for her new documentary, Leanne confessed to having second thoughts about releasing it, given the sensitive topic it explores, fearing offending people when she's just trying to get her point across. But at some point, Leanne realized that she had to throw caution to the wind and tell her story as honestly as she could, because the whole process was a learning experience for her in and of itself. By the way, Leanne also used her documentary to shed light into the topic of colorism, which is the discrimination against people with a darker skin tone. She explained, quote, "It's a particular problem for dark-skinned black women. There is just so little representation. As lighter-skinned black women, we need to understand our privilege, be allies, and listen to our dark-skinned sisters." Fortunately, Race, Pop, and Power was well received, and Leanne is happy to see the fruits of her labor as people approach her to let her know how the documentary helped them and what they took away from it. She's of course also very thankful for all the love and the support she's gotten from mixers for this project. But Leanne is just getting started, as she revealed that she's already working on a new project with her sister Sarah and her fiance Andre Gray called the Black Fund, which aims to finance charities that help the black community gain access into creative industries. Leanne ended her article on an optimistic note, pointing out that it's been a year since Blackout Tuesday, and that she feels that since then, people have become more and more comfortable and open to talk about race. She adds that it was a conversation long overdue that needed to be had to allow people to come together, but she still believes that there's still a lot of work to be done. And we couldn't agree more with Leanne, and we applaud her for using her platform to raise awareness to keep the conversation going. And for another clever music video, click right over here and then slide on down in the comments below. I want to know you guys' thoughts on everything that Leanne talked about. Until next time, I'm your host, Ruba Wilson. Don't forget to follow me on my TikTok and Instagram at Ruba's World. See ya.